November 20th, 1943. BTO Island, Tarawa Atoll. Dawn breaks over one of the bloodiest beaches in Marine Corps history. In the shell-torn ruins near Red Beach 2, Corporal William Dean checks the ammunition belt one last time on his M1919 A4 machine gun. The air-cooled Browning sits on its lightweight tripod, a 250-round belt of .30-06 Springfield ready to feed. Around him, other Marine machine gun crews prepare their weapons amid coral dust and smoke. The ground trembles. Through the morning haze comes a sound that will haunt survivors forever. Hundreds of Japanese soldiers launching a desperate counterattack. Their Type 92 heavy machine guns fire in that distinctive slow tock-tock rhythm that earned them the nickname Woodpecker. Japanese crews struggle with their 122-pound weapon system, feeding 30-round strips as fast as they can, while American M1919s pour out continuous streams of fire. What happens next will demonstrate the overwhelming superiority of American automatic weapons doctrine and reveal why the M1919 Browning became the backbone of U.S. firepower, while Japan's Type 92 proved fatally inadequate for modern warfare. The American M1919 arrived in the Pacific as the evolution of combat-proven technology. Designed by the legendary firearms engineer John Moses Browning as an air-cooled adaptation of his M1917 water-cooled machine gun, the M1919 represented American industrial warfare at its finest. It fired the powerful .30-06 Springfield cartridge at roughly 400 to 600 rounds per minute from a 250-round belt. The mathematics of destruction were simple. Each .30-06 round launched a 150-grain bullet at roughly 2,800 feet per second from the M1919's 24-inch barrel, delivering lethal energy at ranges exceeding 1,500 yards. Browning's design philosophy centered on practical effectiveness rather than theoretical perfection. The M1919 A4 weighed about 31 pounds and its tripod about 14 pounds, for a total system weight of roughly 45 pounds. That meant the gun could be carried and employed by a two-man crew. The weapon's relatively loose tolerances, criticized by some as reducing accuracy, actually enhanced reliability by allowing it to function when fouled with sand, mud, or carbon buildup. Its recoil-operated belt-fed mechanism was simple enough that young Marines could master it quickly, yet robust enough to fire thousands of rounds without failure. By 1944, American factories had produced nearly 390,000 M1919 machine guns across all variants. Manufacturing was distributed across multiple contractors. The Saginaw Steering Gear Division of General Motors alone produced over 200,000 units, while Buffalo Arms Corporation and Rock Island Arsenal contributed tens of thousands more. This massive output ensured that American forces in the Pacific were equipped with reliable, standardized automatic weapons at every level.
The U.S. Marine Corps deployed M1919 A4s at the company level, with guns assigned to the weapons platoon. By 1945, Marine divisions fielded hundreds of these weapons, creating overlapping fields of fire that could annihilate any infantry assault. Standing in stark contrast was the Japanese Type 92 heavy machine gun. Named for the Japanese imperial year 2592, 1932 in the Gregorian calendar, this weapon was Japan's attempt to modernize its automatic weapons based on the French Hotchkiss system. The Type 92 was a gas-operated, air-cooled gun fed by 30-round metal strips and chambered in the 7.7 by 58 mm semi-rimmed cartridge. Despite its heavier caliber than earlier Japanese weapons, the Type 92 suffered critical design limitations that proved catastrophic in combat. The Type 92 fired at approximately 450 rounds per minute, but its 30-round feed strips severely limited sustained fire. While the 7.7mm cartridge improved ballistic performance compared to Japan's older 6.5mm rounds, the feeding system meant crews spent more time reloading than firing. The Type 92 weighed about 122 pounds with its tripod, roughly 77 pounds heavier than the M1919A4 system. This massive weight came from over-engineering. The gun was built with excessive precision that actually hindered battlefield performance. Its most critical flaw was the ammunition oiling system. The Type 92 used an internal oil pump to lubricate cartridges as they fed into the chamber. In theory, this aided extraction. In practice, the oil attracted dirt, sand, and debris, especially in Pacific jungle and coral conditions, causing frequent and catastrophic jams. The precisely fitted parts that looked impressive in peacetime demonstrations became a liability in real combat. Unlike the M1919's looser tolerances that accommodated battlefield contamination, the Type 92's tight tolerances meant even small amounts of debris could render it inoperable. The feed strip system itself was also problematic. The 30-round metal strips were fragile and easily bent during transport and combat. Each strip took precious seconds to load, during which the gun could not fire. In contrast, American gunners could link multiple belts together, creating continuous feeds of 500 rounds or more. The Type 92 also had an unusual sight placement offset to the right rather than centered, complicating training and reducing accuracy during rapid target engagement. Japan produced approximately 45,000 Type 92 heavy machine guns throughout its production run from 1932 to 1945. Tokyo Gas and Electric, along with other manufacturers such as Hitachi, built these weapons with meticulous peacetime standards that were unsuitable for mass production. Each Type 92 required extensive hand-fitting of parts, making them expensive and time-consuming to produce.
The United States, by contrast, produced nearly 390,000 M1919 machine guns during World War II alone, almost 9 times Japan's total Type 92 output. This staggering disparity revealed the essential mismatch in industrial capacity between the two nations. The production philosophies differed dramatically. American manufacturers used automotive industry techniques, with General Motors' Saginaw division applying assembly line methods perfected for car production. Parts were fully interchangeable between manufacturers. A gun made by Buffalo Arms could accept parts from Saginaw or Rock Island Arsenal without modification. Japanese Type 92s often required individual fitting of replacement parts because the handcrafted nature of production meant components from one gun might not fit another. By 1944, American factories were producing more M1919s in a single month than Japan produced Type 92s in an entire year. At Henderson Field on Guadalcanal, the night of October 24 to 25, 1942, proved the importance of reliable automatic weapons. While Sergeant John Basilone earned his Medal of Honor manning M1917 water-cooled Brownings, M1919 crews throughout the perimeter demonstrated the air-cooled weapons' advantages. When Japanese forces attacked, Marine machine gunners with M1919s could reposition quickly, moving to threatened sectors while heavier water-cooled guns remained fixed. As one Marine later described, the air-cooled 30s were our mobile reserve. When the Japanese broke through, we could grab the gun and tripod and run to plug the gap. At Tarawa in November 1943, Marine machine gun crews proved the M1919's versatility in amphibious warfare. Despite being soaked with seawater during the landing, M1919s were quickly put into action. One crew advanced the gun by hand across coral-strewn ground. The gun never quit. They cooled the barrel with canteen water, wiped sand off the belt, and kept firing.
Thousands of rounds went downrange with no stoppage. Japanese Type 92s defending Betio, by contrast, suffered constant malfunctions as coral dust mixed with the oiling system. The Battle of Saipan in June and July 1944 provided perhaps the most dramatic demonstration of American machine gun dominance. During the massive Banzai Charge of July 7th, when thousands of Japanese soldiers attacked American positions, M1919 crews created interlocking fields of fire that turned the assault into a slaughter. The psychological impact was crushing. Japanese soldiers nicknamed some American defensive positions the lawn mower because M1919 fire cut down attacking waves with mechanical efficiency. The continuous chatter of American guns, so different from the slower rhythm of the Type 92, demoralized troops before assaults even began. A captured Japanese training manual from 1944 acknowledged the enemy's superior firepower and suggested that machine guns must be neutralized by night infiltration and close combat, where their advantages could be minimized. Japanese prisoners also described the Type 92's failures. They knew the machine gun was inferior. In jungle humidity, oil mixed with dirt and plant matter and became like glue. Crews spent more time cleaning than firing. The strips bent easily and held only 30 rounds. By the time they reloaded, American fire had already destroyed their squads. Japanese post-war analysis admitted that the Type 92 was inadequate against American forces and that improvements could not be implemented due to production limitations. Units were told to rely on courage to overcome mechanical disadvantage. M1919 production maintained consistent quality even as output skyrocketed. Parts made by different factories were interchangeable, enabling field repairs and simplifying logistics. The simplified mass production methods often improved reliability by eliminating unnecessary complexity. At Saginaw's plant, workers who once built steering components were retrained to build machine guns. Automotive production methods, specialized tooling, assembly line workflow, division of labor created speed and consistency impossible with hand craftsmanship. Japanese Type 92 production declined in quality as the war progressed. Early examples had excellent finish and precise fit. Late war weapons showed rough machining, simplified sights, and deteriorating metallurgy. Substitute materials and reduced precision made the oil pump system even less reliable. Captured late-war Type 92s were often unusable without major rebuilding. Ammunition supply was another decisive factor. The United States produced .30-06 in enormous standardized quantities, shipped in moisture-resistant containers. American forces could expend ammunition lavishly, knowing supplies were essentially unlimited. Japan struggled to supply adequate 7.7mm ammunition, and the fragile feed strips were easily rusted, bent, or damaged. American innovation continued through the war. Improved armor-piercing and incendiary ammunition increased lethality. Tracer variants aided night fighting. Units modified mounts for anti-aircraft use. The M1919 simplicity allowed field adaptation with basic tools.